Hello, guys. I am Barry, and I want to wish everybody a 250th United States anniversary. Um, it is the 4th of July, 2026. Um, and I've got a lot of, I've spoken with a lot of people, strangers, and there's a lot of mixed feelings this year about their motivations to celebrate the 4th of July this year. And a lot of these arguments are actually quite sound, very reasonable arguments. So we are in an age where I do believe that we have uh, people that don't have good intentions. Yes, um, subscription age. Now, in a weird way, the subscription age kind of started, I guess, a couple decades ago when we started doing the whole dial-up internet thing, um, and then doing cell phones that were affordable, then you would pay by minute, but then we did the night and weekends, and then you could get the subscription where, so it was your subscription. And so now we're getting though to the heat warmers in your car won't work unless you pay the subscription every year. The ice makers in your refrigerator aren't going to make ice unless you pay your subscription every year. Uh, Keyless entry. You now, even when I hear of these apartment complexes that are now requiring this app versus just a key, but you have to pay that subscription every year or every month, some yearly, some monthly. And yeah, um, the the understanding that we are going to a subscription base isn't is all by design. I want everyone to become aware of the fact that this isn't all by accident. This isn't like just a bandwagon thing or someone started this and then we're this has all been designed. I mean, if you don't own your content, if you don't own the music that you listen to, if you don't own the uh, entertainment media, the sitcoms, the movies that you watch, if you don't own those um, in a weird way can be taken away from you. Um, we have printers now that won't print, even though there's full ink, um, but the customer has allowed the subscription to expire. So, not even the device that you have in your own home equipped with the capability. You bought the fridge because of the ice maker. You now have to pay a monthly or yearly subscription for that. Um, this is just point blank, guys, because they want to control you. This is all a control tactic. If you don't own the media, if you have to stream the media to your device in order to watch it, you just pay a subscription to watch it, then they can change that media to do or say stuff. They can edit that media to push whatever propaganda, push whatever advertisement they're trying to do, because they're already starting to do that. Um, but it is a control thing. So owning your own media, if you have VHS, DVD, I would advise you hold on to that. But you'll also need a way to view that media using a DVD player, Blu-ray player, even a VCR, a VHS player. And you can get some TVs. When I was growing up, in my high school years, they had TVs now, or then that had both a DVD player and a VHS player. So now, on a Christian aspect, I would like people to come to the understanding that just a couple decades ago, there wasn't all this tracking. They didn't need your data so much. In fact, this wasn't, you walking to your friend's house wasn't even considered data. So these data point this, tracking that. On the Christian aspect, I'm not really, again, I'm not really all that worried about this. I think that we need to trust God in that He knows what He's doing. I want to ask you guys, when you wake up in the morning, what do you devote the first 5 minutes of your waking hours to? To whom do you devote the first 5 minutes of your waking hours to? And some people get straight up out of bed, hit the ground running, and it's time to start the day. I have a tendency to be one of those people. I'm not really someone who just lays around in bed. Either I'm in it to go to sleep, or if I'm awake, I get out of it. But even if you take your time getting up, what do you grab first? So when you wake up, what's the first thing you grab? What's the first thing? What is the privilege, person, place, or thing? What noun do you give your first 5 minutes to? And if in this question, when you answer internally, if it's not God, when you answer that, I would implore you to exercise that the first 5 minutes that you wake up become 5 minutes of praising and glorifying God because of how grateful you are that you woke up that this morning. But I would also implore you to give God your last 5 minutes as well. So everybody prays before they go to bed, or they should be. But when you pray, more than just protection overnight, more than just the people that you're trying to remember throughout the day that have requested prayers when they come in contact with you, more than just the gratification of what you've learned through that day, give Him that 5 minutes before you say amen, where you just listen to Him. I will challenge you to do this. I believe that if you start speaking to God religiously, and then throughout the day, even at these times when you might feel a little frustrated, just go ahead and turn your thought toward God and do a small conversation with Him. You can speak to Him throughout the day. It's quite easy actually now. I've found that it's just not that hard, and He's hearing you. But you're going to find that all these pressures, all these things that everyone is worried about throughout the day right now, God can bring you peace on all that. You will find that peace. You will find peace when you turn to God. You will receive that understanding that it's hard to describe. Mind knowledge, but what knowledge isn't in the mind? So I'm very analytical and science geared brain. So some of the things on a spiritual realm, I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with terms for this, for some of this. So um, if any of y'all watching could help me out. So there are times when you can just literally turn to Christ where it doesn't have to be an emergency. But even in an emergency, turn to Christ. But there are so many times where, even throughout the day, when you get frustrated, where you can just still turn to Christ, still turn to God, um, and just start talking to Him. And it I feel better. I'll say it that way. My worry, my anxiety is subsiding. It's gone. I'm This worldly thing isn't really worth. There isn't really anything that can happen on this planet. And once you kind of understand this in your head, there's nothing on this planet that can really happen to me that is so detrimental. Once all this is done and we get to go home, we'll be back here on earth when heaven's here on earth. So I'll be back here on this planet, but it's that time that I believe is very important. And when you kind of keep your eyes on that, now sometimes when you have gifts, sometimes when you start feeling things, sometimes when you, yes, I've done music. I do have a fix-it gift. I play many instruments. I sing, maybe not very well right now. But sometimes these gifts become, and I learned this when I was young, become very, well, they're not gifts anymore. They become responsibilities, because then the expectations. So when you're a kid, that becomes very, very daunting. Always being first chair, first violin, always being first chair even when I played oboe, always being drum major, always being first chair even in band when I played the trumpet. It's no longer a gift when it becomes expected of you. It becomes this curse. It becomes pressure. And I've never really done well with push pressure. I do a lot of things because I enjoy them, and I feel like I want to try and exercise my voice again, start singing. I need to bring out. I have a violin still. I gave my cornet to a high schooler who really wanted to get into band. Didn't have a trumpet, but I gave him my cornet, same key, so it'll work. So, but I don't want the pressure. That's the thing. That's the thing. I don't want the pressure of the expectation. So I'm sure there's people out there that do have gifts that it ends up becoming a curse. The pressure in of itself. So you get the knack. You then become that person that everyone wants to go to. You then become, just like with computers and science. You can't really let too many people know, because then you then become that person that everybody goes to. And that in itself can now start to not feel like a gift. So, but yeah, I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. This is my little ranting for today. It's a pretty good day so far. Glory to God. Thank you so much, Father in heaven. And it's been one of those, I've gotten a few things accomplished. I feel like it's been good. So, love you guys so much. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you guys for subscribing, those who have subscribed. I love the comments that I'm getting. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead. It's absolutely free. Like the video. It helps the algorithm ensure that it gets, I guess, put out. I'm slowly but surely going to get this understanding of how to do editing and like add stuff, like I don't know, like what these other YouTube channels do. I'm still on the reborn Christian journey back home. This is kind of I'm sure this will grow at some point. So again, I say, like and subscribe, leave me a comment. I love you guys, and most of all, grace and peace to you. See you on the next video.